Welcome back everyone, my name is Lee for Lee's Kitchen. Today we're going to make a 2-ingredient pasta and I'm going to show you how good it actually turns out. So today we're going to make another keto pasta. So you might have heard of this pasta before and it's going around. It's the 2-ingredient wrap. So with the cottage cheese and the 2 eggs. Now I did previously make this and I gave my honest opinion about it as a wrap. I do see the potential of it being used as like a pasta or something like that. So I'm going to try that as pasta tonight and we're going to see how it goes. So the first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to get my oven heating up. Now, this recipe is usually cooked at 170 degrees, but I don't want any browning or anything on my wrap. So I'm going to actually reduce this to 160 degrees and I'll put the Fahrenheit conversion down below. So we just want a very low and slow, just bake, just to help cook with those eggs and everything in it. And this recipe, if you haven't made it before, is just so easy to make. So what we're gonna need is a blender or food processor, any sort of thing to puree it all up together. And to this, I am just literally gonna add 2 eggs. And then we're gonna add a tub of cottage cheese. Now, I did try and use it with ricotta. It does not work. And that is because I'm pretty sure, if you read the labels, a lot of cottage cheeses have all these different fillers and everything in it, even though I thought it was just a straight dairy product, but it's got things like xanthan gum in it and everything, which I didn't think was, used in it. So all we're gonna do is put that in there. Then I'm just going to add just a touch of salt. And then all we're going to do is we're just going to puree this until it's nice and smooth. And that's it. That's all we have to do. So I have some parchment paper here. All I'm going to do is just put some oil into my tray, and that's just going to help the parchment paper just stick in there, so it's not going to go anywhere when you go to actually pour your mixture in. Like so. That's not going anywhere. And then all we're going to do is we're just going to pour this into our baking tray. And now we're just going to try and get it as flat as possible. I like to use gravity as much as possible, and that's done now. So what we're going to do is we're going to put this into the oven. We're going to cook it at 160 degrees and we're going to cook it for about 40 minutes, but just keep an eye on it after about 20 minutes, and once it's done, then you can pull it out. So I just took this out the oven and it was only in there for about 20 minutes and it is done already. So it's something that you really do have to watch. And for some people it's going to take 40 minutes and some people it's going to take 20 minutes. I think it just depends on your oven. I have a gas oven, so usually that cooks a little bit cooler, but it cooked pretty fast. So I'm going to let this cool down slightly and then we're going to slice off the overcooked little bits and then we're going to make it into pasta. So I've just let this cool slightly. You don't want it fully to cool off or it's going to be harder to actually cut and everything. So what we want to do is we want to cut off anything that has overcooked or anything like that. So anything from about here. And honestly, it'll be a tasty snack, so don't throw it out or anything. And then what we can do is we can roll it up. And then we can slice into our pasta. So I like mine about 1 centimetre wide, like a fettuccine. And there we go, we'll try it for dinner tonight. And I'm gonna make a Amatriciana sauce to go with it. So now I'm gonna make a sauce to try with our pasta. Now, this is a childhood favorite that I've had for years. It's my personal favorite. It's Amatriciana. So it's a red sauce. So I've got some homemade passata here, and it's meant to have guanciale or pancetta. I don't have the money for that sort of stuff, so I'm gonna use some bacon that was in my freezer. And then we've got some garlic as well. And then it's just a few chili flakes and also some basil. I've got some home dehydrated basil here. I'm gonna use that today. And it's so easy. So first I'm gonna slice up the ingredients and then we're gonna fry it all off. All right, so that's all chopped up now. So let's go to the stove and I'll show you how to make it. All right, so I've got a frying pan here, heating on medium high. And add a good glug of extra virgin olive oil. So while it's heating, I'm just going to add our garlic, just let that just gently cook off and infuse our oil. So now I'm going to add our bacon. It's quite a lot of bacon in this. Usually I only put probably about half the amount, but I like bacon in mine. And as I said, it's traditionally meant to be guanciale or pancetta, but this is what I've got in my freezer, so that's what I'm going to use. All right. We're just going to let that cook out and just let that render it down a little bit, and then we're going to add our sauce. Once that bacon has rendered down a bit, I'm going to add some homemade passata. This has no sugar added to it or anything. I'm just going to rinse this jar out, get the goodness out of there. I'm going to add just a sprinkle of red chili flakes, just a few. I find if it's too hot, it's just unbearable. So now I'm going to add some homegrown basil there. And homegrown dehydrated basil is so better than the actual store-bought stuff. Then I'm going to add some pepper. And we're going to add some salt. We're going to let this thicken up a little bit and then we're going to add our pasta and try it out. All right, so now this is cooked down now. Now we can add our pasta to it. Now it does actually break up a little bit, so it's more like a noodle, not like, you know, your long strands of fettuccine or anything like that. Let's add it into a bowl and try it out. All right, let's give this a go. And as I said, I wasn't a fan of the 2-ingredient wrap, but it turns out pretty good as a noodle for pasta. And I'm gonna be honest, it just tastes like a really soft pasta. It doesn't have that spongy texture that my last pasta that I actually made had in it. And yeah, it's a really good substitute. So if you weren't a fan of the 2-ingredient wrap, maybe try it again and use it as your pasta substitute. So if you like this video, don't forget to give it a good old like. And if you want to see more, don't forget to subscribe. Thanks for watching. Bye.